of the Nigerian Nexus. Now, joining us next from Akure, the Ondo State capital, is Comrade Kunle Ajayi, who is the AAC governorship aspirant, Ondo State. Hello and a very good morning to you, Comrade Kunle. It's wonderful to have you join us on Morning Express.
Thank you so much. I'm the AAC governorship candidate. I'm no more an aspirant.
Well, governorship candidate, AAC governorship candidate, Ondo State in the Ondo off-cycle gubernatorial polls. Very quickly now, let's get your reaction to leading up to the November 16th elections. What is the situation like there in Ondo? What's the atmosphere like, and what should we be anticipating come November 16th?
Yeah, we have a situation that, as it is now, Nigerians, especially Ondo State people, are not yet decided where to go because the projected big parties, so to say, the APC and PDP, the press have helped them a lot to project them as the major political parties, whereas in terms of real support from below, in terms of their popularity, both parties are not popular. The people do not agree with them on loads of things. But as it is today, we have a situation where the Ondo State ruling class is tailoring the people's choices to the two. And you can find it from several reports. I read one this morning on Punch newspaper, and it's talking about how they have been sharing incentives. They have been sharing fertilizer, sharing rice, sharing food everywhere, all over the state.
More like a means of vote buying before the elections.
Yes, they are already seriously buying votes everywhere. But even at that, they remain quite unpopular. You can check their rallies, quite scanty. Because we have a situation today that the public opinion in Ondo State does not favor either of the parties. But clearly the people are not taking up a choice as it is. There is a 70% compliance in terms of people taking their voters card.
Yes.
But one is not sure whether the people will be able to rise to vote. So what we are saying as an African Action Congress is that our party is the only viable alternative, because we have been able to raise the banner, the standard of the election. We have been able to let people know that the election is not just between 6.5 and 7. It is not between devil and the deep blue sea. There is an alternative of Irapada Ondo, where the people will take back their industries, where the people will take back their resources, where the farmers will take back their farms, where we go back to number one in education, as we have always been, where we go back to number one in healthcare. We won't have a situation where we have a teaching hospital in Akure here and cannot even admit anybody. So, and people have to go to FMC or war. We have a situation where we will take back Rufus Giwa Polytechnic or war. Yesterday at the rally of APC, very scanty rally in Owo, people were asking, what will the governor do about Rufus Giwa Polytechnic or war? But the governor had no answer. I have an answer.
What is your answer, Comrade Kunle? What is your answer?
The answer is simple. Rufus Giwa Polytechnic or war must not be as expensive as it is. The foundational Rubicon of that polytechnic is that it should be an institution of technical expertise for the poor people of our local government and its environment and all over the state. So why is the school fees as high as it is? When we get to government, we have said it, that the government have the finance, government have everything, and we are going to make sure that a polytechnic like Rufus Giwa Polytechnic or one is going to be free, functional, and qualitative at all levels.
Well, let me take you back a little bit, Comrade Kunle, where in your statement where you said that, of course, the people's opinion or the popular vote in Ondo State is not tilting towards either the PDP or the APC, and that they are increasingly becoming unpopular in the state, and parties like yourself, the African Action Congress, is taking center stage in the hearts and minds of the people of Ondo State. You also cited that they are in a bid to buy votes. They are already sharing palliatives, rice, and the likes, and of course paying their way through media publicities and all. In your capacity as the AAC governorship candidate for Ondo State. What are you doing in line with ensuring that you garner votes for your party and clinch that most revered seat in your state and do all of these things that you've promised to do?
Yes, it's part of why I'm here on ADBN today, to reach out to all Ondo State people that there is a clear alternative. There is a people's alternative. There is an alternative that is not talking about privatizing all our wealth and resources. There is an alternative that is not talking about just waiting for allocation from the federal government to loot. There is an alternative not talking about just using 775 million naira to rebuild a fence, and 1 billion naira to rebuild the government house gate, 31 billion naira for judicial complex where you won't employ more than about 200 or 100 people. Our alternative is that we are going to be building collective wealth and collective abundance, collective welfare. So what do we mean? We are going to rebuild all network of companies in Owena Holdings, which was relayed by the late Aac'S Kunle Ajayi. And you know, we are having a situation where we bring back Otukwaye Palm PLC, we bring back Ifon Ceramic, we are going to set up a new chocolate factory for Ondo Cocoa, our cocoa in Idori and Ondo. We are going to have a chocolate factory for it. We are not going to be just sending our raw materials all around. So we are presenting our alternatives to the people. We are telling them we can have free functional healthcare at all levels. For instance, the 32 billion naira being wasted on the judicial complex can rebuild Olua Glass Company. It can rebuild Otukwaye Palm PLC, even if it is one company. Because what matters is that with just one company, you can have successfully removed over 10% of the unemployment percentage in Ondo State. It is embarrassing today that Ondo State has 28% unemployment parameters. And we are not talking about self-employed people not taken care of. We are not talking about informal workers being taken care of. So there are no provisions for informal workers. There are no provisions for a lot of other people. So for us, what we are doing to Ghana for vote is to keep on reminding the people that we have an alternative. We are not going to share one naira even if we have the money.
Let's get back to the election itself. Come November 16th. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with the PDP's publicity secretary in Ondo State, and one of the things that he raised concerns about was the fact that the All Progressives Congress is quite a notorious party. Well, these were his words, citing that the APC wants to hijack the election in the state. I beg your pardon.
Of course.
Just a moment. That the APC wants to hijack the election in the state so that parties like PDP, parties like AAC like yourself, and other parties will not have a chance of a fair play in the elections. Are you afraid of the APC doing that in the Ondo polls? Truthfully now.
Yes. Yes, of course. And we are not only afraid of the APC, we are afraid of the PDP too, because they are both buying votes. They are both sharing rice. They are both sharing biscuit and all the rest. And both of them are lobbying INEC. They are not interested in the people's votes, but we are not mobilizing the people with incentives. We are mobilizing the hearts and minds of Ondo State people and telling them to rise. After this interview now, we are still going to go again to meet our people, to consult, to move around our career. And you know, we are still going to keep reminding our people, sending them message, make pulling calls, speaking on radio, speaking on television, telling our people that the alternative is there. So the APC, as it is, you know now, is a crook party, is a rogue party. They rigged in Ondo State. They believe that that format can also be used in Ondo State. But Ondo State is a very, very, very volatile state. Why is it volatile? Because Ondo State used to have the best education we have in this country before. Ondo State used to have the most sophisticated political pedestal in the whole of this country. So those who are trying to rig should go and be careful. Because as it is, Ondo State people can change their mind tomorrow morning and make a full decision. They are not yet decided. And that's why we are not part of the political parties that are selling their candidature. Some other small parties, you know, they are trying to sell their candidature. But we are not a small party. We are a small axe that can cut down the big tree of impunity in Ondo State.
Let,
So that's our own political party in the African Action Congress.
let's talk about security in the elections. We saw a recent statement by IGP Egbetokun warning the Amotekun to stay clear of the elections, citing that only the police and, of course, the NSCDC personnel will be permitted to station their men across polling units in the state. Is there a particular reason why the IGP is wary of the Amotekun, considering the fact that Ondo has always had Amotekun, you know, substitute or sort of padding and adding up to the security apparatus of the state?
Well, it's a rigging machinery. Amotekun is a rigging machinery for the state thus far.
And I think that is this a confirmed fact, or is this an insinuation from you?
It's a confirmed fact. They have always been in support of the state. What security have they handled thus far? There have been serious insecurity in the state thus far, but the government did not invest a dime in them. What the government is investing is to make sure that the Amotekun works for them during this election. That is why the governor went to put serious billions of naira into the Amotekun and make them part of the security heads at this last minute to the election. So for us, the Amotekun is a rigging machinery which must be stopped. We agree with the IG, but we are also telling the IG that we do not trust the police, we do not trust the soldiers, we do not trust the NCDC officers, whether they are not going to be the ones that are going to be the rigging tools and the rigging machineries. Because there are several states that have the rigging tools. In River State, the police withdrew because they were the ones that wanted to be the rigging machinery at the local government election and was rejected by the state governor. So for us, they have taken up Amotekun. We are also telling them to tell the police to beware of joining the APC to rig the elections or the PDP to rig the elections. They should never intimidate the people. They should never use the siren to make people not to come out to vote, because we need more people to vote so that there can be more decisions to be taken.
Last week Friday, a peace accord was signed ahead of the elections. Were you part of the signing of the peace accord?
Well, I wasn't there because for me it's a ruse. The peace accord is a ruse as far as I'm concerned. General Salam Abubakar and his friends are just going all around to make some money. They are not really interested in bringing real peace. Because I used to tell them, why are you now interested in peace during the elections alone? Why are you not talking about peace before the election? Why are you not talking about peace after the election? So my position is very clear that as far as my political party is concerned, our party will never join those who will rig elections. Our party
perhaps
have never been violent. But those who have been violent are the same people that are running to sign peace accord. Their violence is instituted already. What they are only doing is to say there should not be revolt in the election. Also for me, that peace accord is not well stated, because even on the day of the peace accord, they only allowed the governor alone to speak. Other candidates did not speak. That's a ruse. So for me, we have said it at the Peace and Security Summit. We have been clear. If there's going to be peace in this election, there must never be rigging. It's a logical thing. So nobody should rub that on our face.
Well, General Abubakar Salami, as Abdul Salami, as well as Bishop Matthew Kuka, have always been at the focal point of ensuring that peace accords are signed during elections, not just state elections, but even presidential general elections in the country. And somehow, some people have attested to the fact that these peace accords, to an extent, hold political office contestants liable or responsible should anything happen. Do you, in all sincerity, think that what the peace accord is just a sham? Because it has worked and people have testified to it.
I think the people that are testifying to it, that probably they are doing fake testimonies like I've been doing in some fake churches. As far as I'm concerned, in the last election, 2023 general election, President Tinubu, the current president, signed peace accord. But MC Oluomo was in Lagos threatening Igbos, threatening a lot of people. You remember the famous position where he's asking Igbo women to stay at home. Is MC Oluomo above General Salam Abubakar? It was a sham. It was a ruse. The election was marred with violence in 2023. So General Salah Abaka and Bishop Kuka should go and look for another job to do. As far as I'm concerned, that was a ruse. It was a ruse, a big ruse, as far as I'm concerned.
What is your position, Comrade Kunle, on the issue of local government autonomy that has been granted to LGAs? And on one hand, some state governors have warmly accepted it, while others are still kicking really hard against it. But in your position, in the case that you clinch the most revered seat in your state and become governor of your state, do you subscribe to local government autonomy? And what is your position on that?
I not only subscribe to the local government autonomy, I'm one of those who fought for it. Since, it was the Obasanjo regime that destroyed the local government autonomy because that regime wanted to have a strong hold on the driven governors. And, the current president too was also part of those who destroyed the local government autonomy. And so for us, we fought them. We joined the National Union of Local Government Employees, ALGOM, in agitating thus far, since I was General Secretary United Action for Democracy, since I was in the student movement, we joined them for the local government autonomy. So for us, the local government is the closest tier of government to the people. The local government would help to reduce the work rates, the work on the state. It will also drastically reduce the impunity of the state governance. So for me, I am seriously with the local government. I want the people to be able to choose democracy from below. You get it? Yes. So as governor, I work with the local government seriously to make sure that with their allocations, they do what it's supposed to do, while the state government clinically do is the best of his job. Many of the state governors today are very angry against especially my own state governor, Loka Aidatiwa. He was one of those who instituted the case against the local government autonomy. And we issued a statement that as far as we are concerned, we want the local government autonomy because we want democracy from below, and we want a government that will be closer to the people and help with the redistribution of wealth. So for me, if well positioned, if well structured according to this constitution, the local government will reduce the power of not only the state, but the power of impunity that is being entrenched and forced down by the state governments on each of the states. Because many of these state governments are not even up to being a local government chairman. Because what they do mostly are local government jobs. You find state government working on primary school, find local government trying to do one small
which is supposed to be the sole responsibility of the local government council chairman.
Yes, like repairing fence, small fence. Is supposed to be Alagbaka.
In some states in the country, reports have it that somehow, in as much as the state governors have accepted the LG autonomy, but they sometimes go behind the backs of everyone in the state to the National Assembly to probably push for a bill that would mandate the local government council chairman to remit a certain amount of federal government allocation given to them back to the state government coffers. This is something that has happened in some states. Is perhaps the same thing happening in yours?
It's happening in my Ondo State here. The governor has forced some caretaker committee on us, which is illegal. He has refused to conduct local government elections, and they keep doing the money sharing. In fact, normal. They are not supposed to be getting money at the local level in Ondo State because there is no election thus far. In Lagos State, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, and the House of Assembly, they are doing everything to cow the local governments. And that is what caused the battle between them and the Alimosho local government, because it's the largest local government in Lagos State. What they are doing is to make sure that they decide for the local government. They can remove the local government chairman, and with that power, they can be getting their sharing formula from the states. Oyo State governor not only stopped local government autonomy in his own state, he worked with the fakely elected, rigged-in local government. Because in African Action Congress, we contested in Oyo State, and we performed very well in 4 wards. We were supposed to win elections seriously. Would have been the major opposition first fighting against it, but they rigged us out. In fact, they did not bring any voting material to any of the wards where we were contesting. This is what they want to continue to do. And in Ondo State here, the last local government election, I was the one who led the party to the local governments at different wards. I can't forget in Ikoya ward, where my friend Abiodun Oyeka was contesting. We won that election. It was rigged massively. So, as far as I'm concerned, this state government, they know that it is big soup, pot of soup, the money to the local government. So they are not ready to remit it. So that's why they are putting their lackeys, they are putting their mumus into the local government so that they can be sharing money with them. They are already doing it. They are doing it in different places. Those ones who just conducted local government elections recently too are doing the same thing. Whether they are Labour Party, whether they are PDP, whether they are APC. These people are undemocratic political parties. They are parties of tyranny. They are offshoots of the military regime. And they will never want democracy from below.
Let's talk about political apathy in the elections. You mentioned earlier that some people have not collected their PVCs. Not just you. Yesterday, the PDP publicity secretary in your state also mentioned that there is large apathy in the state concerning the elections, citing the fact that there are speculations that the results of the elections might not really be what INEC would translate to the general public. Is apathy an issue in Ondo State regarding the off-cycle gubernatorial polls as it stands?
Yes. We have spoken with a lot of Ondo State people. We have been moving around. And each time we tell people, we say, please vote for us. They'll say, yes, we vote for you, my brother. But will they give you the votes? Will they rig against you? So there is a fear of rigging. The people are afraid because there have been bad examples from Ondo State, bad examples from the 2023 general election, where Emilokan was forcibly forced on the people of Nigeria. So there is a general fear. That is why we are saying that we need a people's rising. It is only a people's rising that can save this election from being rigged, that can save this election from either the APC or the PDP. So, for us, their party does not favor the masses. The masses should not say, oh, because they want to rig us, we'll stay at home, we won't vote for Kunle Ajayi, wise man of the African National Congress, who is the best candidate in this election, who is the most ideological in this election, who has presented the best manifesto in this election, and who has worked the most in terms of campaign. Most of these big political parties are just starting their campaigns. We have started our campaign about 3-4 months ago, moving around the state, campuses to campuses, street to street. We have been talking to the people. When they increase, and that's one of the reasons why they increase petrol price, so that people will not have enough finance to do a lot of political works against the current ruling class. You need to see what it is, moving from one town to another. So we are telling Ondo State people, don't fall for the Bokose bear. The last time Akeredolu did the Bokose bear, people did not cook any soup. Workers suffered for it for 4 years. If you sell your votes in one day, November 16, you are going to suffer for that vote for 4 years. Because if they give you 20,000, divide the 20,000 by 4, it's going to be 5,000 every year. Because these people will never give you dividend of democracy. They will never return Oluwa Glass Company. They will never return Ifo Ceramic. They will never return Araomi Obiroba Estate. They will never return Owena Holdings. They will never return Ondo Textiles. They will never return Iruwa Company. They will never rebuild Ondo State to the way we want it. So don't sell your vote, Ondo State people. Vote for African Action Congress. Our party says we are number 3 on the ballot box. And because if you don't vote for the real political party and you say that PDP also has capacity, the capacity of PDP is the capacity of impunity, just like APC. So let this election never be a battle of impunity between the APC and the PDP. The African National Congress, in 2023 general elections, we provided the best alternative in the person of Omoyele Sowore. And I remember on the fuel subsidy removal, we were the only political party that stood out to say we are not going to remove subsidy. As it is today in Ondo State, we are the only political party that is standing out, that is saying we will not privatize the economy anymore, because that is what is killing Nigeria. We will collectivize the economy.
Comrade Kunle, in closing, we have just about a minute or two to wrap up this conversation. What should we expect come November 16th, firstly? And secondly, what will be your message to the good people of Ondo State, to Nigerians who will be watching the elections very closely when it happens on the 16th?
If the people rise on November 16th, I'll be the next governor of Ondo State. And and Ondo State will become a state that Lagos State will be competing with. They'll be competing with us because we have the largest beach front in the whole of West Africa, the Aromi Beach. We are going to connect it, and in Ilade, we were the only political party who fought for Ayetoro, who signed petition publicly, globally on Ayetoro. We are the only political parties who want the new Amsterdam plan on Ondo South. We are the only political parties who promised that the U format of the road structure in Ondo State will not only double it will be on a 6-6 format. So in November 16, what we are expecting our people is to rise and vote for the African Action Congress, because if you vote for us, you will not regret it, because you have almost spent nothing to vote for us, and we have almost spent nothing to induce you. But when you are induced, the same politicians, what they are giving you today, rice, beans, and all of that, they will have a sense of ownership to say, we have bribed them, we have bought the votes, we have given them money for the Bokosi. That's why Rotimi Akeredolu was not responsible to Ondo State people, because in the two elections, he bought votes, 10,000 naira, 5,000, 3,000. So when he gets to government, he will tell people, I spent my money to win the election. So, and all this money is not their personal money. It is using Abu's money, you get it, to entertain Abu. One few Abu She, Abula Lejo. And we are asking Ondo State people, don't allow this anymore. Don't mind, or whatever money they have taken from Ondo State today, if you vote for us, we'll get it back within a jiffy. We don't need to go to EFCC. We are very good at that. In fact, immediately I'm announced by November 17, many of the politicians stolen with impunity, they would have run away. Just like General Absalom Abaka said it. If Showore had been the one that the people went to vote for in 2023, they would have not been able to try to rig that election at all, because they know us now.
Well, Comrade Kunle Ajayi, I'm afraid this is all time will permit us to take, but it's been a very impactful conversation with you, and thank you for finding the time to join us virtually from Akure, and good luck to you in the elections come November 16th as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ADB, and thank you, Ondo State. Vote African Action Congress, the People's Party. Collective wealth, collective welfare is the only way to rebuild not only Ondo State, to rebuild Nigeria away from these pains, hardship, austerity, penury, naira devaluation, oil deregulation, and what have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That has been Comrade Kunle Ajayi, who is the AAC governorship candidate in the off-cycle Ondo gubernatorial polls, talking about his plans for the people of Ondo State come November 16th. Well, this is all we can take on this particular segment of Morning Express. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be having a security expert in the studio talk to us about the ever-increasing insecurity situation in the country, focusing on the southwestern part of the country, especially